Hi, you guys. It's Yogi Cameron here.
And I'm Yogini Jema.
Now, many of you have been asking us for a while, what is your relationship secret? How do we stay together? How do we attract love? And we sat there and we thought about it for a few weeks, and we said, what is the basis of our relationship? What keeps it sort of at the highest level? And we found that three things kind of stick out for us. Things that help us, stay in that balance. So when conflict does come, we know how to get out of it or make it as peaceful as possible. So what are our three?
They were three yogic practices. Because remember, yoga, once you move past the physical aspect, is just an ever expanding consciousness where you become aware of your actions and your responses, and you become aware of yourself as a body of energy and know that your faculties are carriers of that energy, and you possess a lot of power with the different faculties that you possess, which are the power of drishti, sight, the power of shruti, hearing, and the power of vak, speech. Those are three of them. And we understood that we are really aware of when, for example, the power of sight. When you look at someone with a mere glance, you transfer that energy to the recipient of that glance. If you look at someone sternly and with discipline, they are going to receive that energy. If you look at someone with love and compassion, like how your mother looks at you, we receive that energy. And in the same way, if you look at someone with passion and with desire, they're going to feel that energy as well. And that is the power of drishti. And we're aware and take responsibility of that energy, so that if there are moments where we can dart a glance at someone that would be harmful or that would upset them, or to make a point, if it comes from ego, we don't do it. I know myself, I look away. In fact, the moment that for me, when I look away, you pause that emotion and you detach yourself from it. And once there's detachment and you observe it, just like everything else, it will move and shift, and that moment is gone. And then you can go back to base, which we did realize that our base is peace. In the days of our life, and our base is love. Yeah,
we're always trying to get back to peace and love, so that we agree on. We don't want any harm. If conflict comes, it just comes because it's life. But our aim is always to get out of it as quickly as possible, whatever we need to do. So looking away or just leaving the room or doing something that doesn't transfer that glance, if you're feeling really angry, but maybe you're not. If you're not, then you can look at the other person and say, I'm confused, or I love you, or something that allows them to come down and calm down.
And in the same way, you do this really well, you can look at someone or your partner. If you see that they are suffering, you can look at them, and without speaking, with your eyes, you can say, I see you're suffering, and I'm here for you. And it's felt. As women, we often find in relationships that we're frustrated because we're not able to communicate with our partners. And that's just the nature of the game with Shiva and Shakti. We're wired differently as women, right? We feel and we communicate very freely. We can express that energy. That's not the way that the Shiva, the male, is hardwired. So we'll often find that we can communicate freely and openly with our sisters and our girlfriends and the women in our lives, the females in our lives, but not so much with the men in our lives or in our relationship. So in those moments of frustration, he often, because we're aware of the dynamics of Shiva and Shakti, will always give me that look of, I see that you're frustrated. I may not be able to express the same way that you express, but I'm here for you and I love you.
Yeah, and sometimes I bring humor into it as well. Because humor is a great icebreaker as well, and takes us back to base often as well. Yeah. And then the second one is the power of listening. And the power of listening, I've had to learn this a lot. I used to think I'm a great listener. And then I realized when I multitask and I'm doing a whole bunch of things, I am not a good listener. So sometimes that's a case of frustration. The thing I have to do is at that moment, drop what I'm doing or say, look, I'm in something really serious at the moment. I need 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and I'll be with you. Again, it's that communication instead of leaving you hanging, because sometimes I do that and I just sort of leave the room or I do something and that's not communicating. So I have to learn, and I've had to learn that over the last year, because it's something we think we're doing well, but sometimes we're not doing well.
Well, that's one aspect of it. The other aspect is the times that we're living in. Communication is running super fast. You know, our smart devices and our computers are just operating like this, and everything is moving so quickly, and it has our minds moving so quickly to keep up with it. And what happens, and it's very interesting if you observe the mind while people are talking, your mind is already figuring out what they're saying in totality, you know, before they're even done. So in actuality, you've stopped listening to them, and you'll find that you're already responding to what they're saying before they're even done doing it. So we're in the practice of stilling the mind and deeply listening. Not responding, not having to, you know, come up immediately with something to say back the second that they're done, but just to deeply listen to what that person is saying. And you'll find that you reach a lot more understanding and a lot more wisdom is gained by that practice in a relationship and in general.
Yeah, and giving the other person the time to finish. They feel like they've been heard, so then they're not wanting to jump into something new. They just feel fulfilled. You know, I've said what I need to say.
Sure.
And the third one?
The power of speech. This loving speech, affectionate speech, knowing that our words can cut someone. You know, they can be razor sharp and they can do damage, or our words can heal others and they can bring them so much comfort and uplift them. That's the power of vak, our speech, and we're very aware of that. There's no shouting, there's no harsh words exchanged between this energy.
Inner shouting. But no outer shouting.
Okay, inner shouting, that's fine, but it doesn't manifest. And we always come back to, well, maybe choose silence, but always come back to that base of loving speech and making that a practice.
So these are three things we find really useful that help us in our relationship, and
well, they become the foundation of the relationship and the breeding ground for loving communication, for intimacy, for wisdom, for deep understanding, and love and compassion and contentment and all those beautiful things that we want to experience in relationship.
Yeah. Anyway, I have a lot to say, so listen to me now. Anyway, we hope that helps you out, and happy practicing.
Happy practicing.
Namaste.
Namaste.